Hi, everybody, and welcome to this special
Hello.
this special webinar that's breaking the tradition of the bi-monthly webinar. So we just had a updates webinar back in August, and we will have another update webinar next month in October. But we're doing this very special webinar to do a couple of announcements. On then we're going to talk about a vision for the Right Tool certification program. So we kind of have an idea, and we want to get your live feedback for people that are attending in Zoom. Just kind of like give us live feedback, ask questions, because we want to build a certification program that you could be not just excited about using and taking, but proud of holding. So we'll talk about that maybe for 20 minutes, and then we have a couple of important changes to Right Tools, more like plans that we have for next year. We'll spend maybe 10 minutes and then maybe have some open Q&A. So maybe hopefully we'll be under an hour. One thing we do wanted to showcase, and this is a sort of a last minute thing, is overnight we finally got. I'm crossing my fingers that the webinar gods allow us to showcase that. But I'm going to go into the customer screen, and there was one person that had a dual request. One was, I got a bunch of customers that are deleted, and I want to undelete them. And then the second part of the request is, I got a bunch of projects that are deleted, and I want to undelete them. So we are certainly trying to accommodate both requests, but we're going in baby steps. So long story short, if a project is deleted and the underlying customer of that project is deleted, you cannot undelete the project. So you have to go and undelete the customer first. So then you can undelete or reactivate the project. Because QuickBooks Online doesn't have deletions, has activations and deactivations. The problem is that the word that they use to describe something that's inactive is delete. So it really does confuse things. But anyway, so long story short, QuickBooks does have a built-in batch action called make inactive that allows you to go in there and make a bunch of customers inactive. Now, QuickBooks Online will prevent you from inactivating certain customers, particularly if they have pending items or open balances and stuff like that. But QuickBooks does have a fairly functional batch inactivating process. Right? So in this particular case, 56 out of 86 customers have projects, unbilled charges, or recurring transactions, so we can't make them inactive. But we were able to make some inactive. Now, usually, if you don't see your inactive customers, you have to click on the little gear here on top of the table, and you have to click on where it says include inactive customers. I'm also going to include inactive projects just in case there's any inactive projects, so we kind of get to see that. Now, right now, we have, like, for example, this customer and this customer, these are both deleted. So to make active, I have to click on one by one. So that's kind of annoying, click make active, make active. In the earlier version of this, I had a script that would just click on make active of everything that's on the screen. But I think sometimes people want to make certain things active, not everything active. Another thing that, interestingly enough, Mark actually mentioned this. I think this is pretty interesting. Is if you want to see only deleted customers, you literally just type the word deleted, and assuming that you don't have an actual customer called deleted, that'll be just the name of a customer. You can just type deleted up here, and it'll filter and only show you deleted customers. So if you want to, in theory, make all your customers inactive, you would click on active on every one of them, or select all, and use the feature that we're going to showcase. So I'm going to make a couple of these, let's say at random. There's a couple of them that I want to make active again. So instead of having to click active on each one, we're going to click here, it says batch actions. And then there's a new button that it's not built into QuickBooks here, that's called activate customers. So that's currently inside of a toggle that it might not be turned on at the moment. So let me check.
Should be turned. Admittedly, I thought about it some more, and I have a better way of bringing that up. So this will be actually a part of tonight's update as well. Is inside of customer or vendors, if you type in deleted, and you can technically do this without typing in deleted, to be clear, but it's just easier to find the list of deleted customers or vendors by typing that first. And you select the ones that you want to select. There should be a batch action now that shows up. Well, in version 35.14, good Lord.
Yeah.
There should be a button that shows up at the bottom called reactivate customers, or if you're in the vendor screen, reactivate vendors. And it will go through, it'll be like, are you sure you want to reactivate these? And it will just go through and reactivate them one at a time. And once it's done, it will refresh the page. You can't really tell which one ones admittedly got moved, but yeah, it refreshes this little thing so you can tell, like, oh, yeah, those got re-enabled. Why QuickBooks doesn't have this is why I put it in short-term QuickBooks enhancements. Although, admittedly, I don't know if QuickBooks is ever going to fix this. I just don't know why they don't have a way to bulk reactivate customers, but that's a separate question.
Cool. All right. So it works for customers and vendors.
Yes.
Okay. And then the next thing that we're going to be working on is to reactivate, delete it. Correct?
Reactivate, delete it. You mean like projects?
Sorry,
deleted projects.
The last word is important.
Yes, the projects part was yeah. Yes, that's gonna be. It's not the next thing I'm working on. The next thing I'm working on is I just want to go ahead and get something completed for the modern reports, which is the report presets button in there. A very specific type of reports preset button. I'm excited to get that one out, so I'm going to try and kind of hammer that one through. But after that, the project is going to be the next thing we work on.
So hopefully by the October webinar, we should be able to showcase that.
Yeah, hopefully by then we'll have it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. Anyway, so
yeah.
So on the people that send in the the contest entries, I want to give you a quick analysis of responses, mostly so we can build a little build up and suspense to announce the winners. So I actually grabbed the spreadsheet. I'll kind of show you what the spreadsheet looks like, so you see where we got this from. So I got a spreadsheet that contains all the responses from the yacht form. Okay, so basically, spreadsheet looks like this. It has all the responses. Everybody that applied put in, the reviews, their feedback, the reasons why they want to come to Reframe. So I grabbed this and I copy and paste this into ChatGPT, and I said, here's the point system. Okay, so if they left a review, is 2 points. If they're a pro user, is 4 points. If they add a video testimonial, is 3 points. If they add it, and then based on that, weigh the probabilities of them winning, and then add an extra bonus point for the most compelling reason why they want to come to Reframe. And ChatGPT incredibly just picked 10 people at random, and that was it. We moved on. Amazing. Okay. However, I went ahead and also asked it, hey, do an analysis and give me sort of the top 5 things that people mention to be the most important, the most valuable features that RightTool has. And I think a lot of people in a RightTool circles, that's what they mostly wonder is how other people are using RightTool, because like most people's anxiety is, am I using RightTool to its full extent? So they always find it interesting to see what other people are using. So put in the live chat if you agree with me that that is interesting to always know how other people are using it and what's valuable to them. But it turns out that based on those answers, these were the top 5 in this order. So the one that was mentioned the most is batch editing in the register. So batch editing in the register was the one that number one people, I would say like 40% of people mentioned it in one way, shape, or form. The second one was batch delete in general, but the one that matched the most is batch delete in the register. People just put batch delete, which I think we have different types of batch delete, although the batch delete in the register is the most stable one that we've had. And then there was miscellaneous bank feed enhancement mentioned. So some people mentioned the last 4 digits. Some people mentioned the bank description. Some people mentioned Google Memo on bank feeds. One person mentioned ChatGPT, Ask ChatGPT or Ask Perplexity. I forget which one it was. So we're gonna put bank feed enhancements as a third one. Then copy and paste. In general, copy and paste or pasting in journal entries was one that was cited a lot. People said, batching journal entries. Some people said, like, there's just different versions of copy pasting and journal entries. And the copy and pasting stuff works across most transactions of all transactions. But the journal entry is sort of the original one that was born out of this. And then there was a couple mentions about either being able to have favorites in reports in favorites in general, or specifically group favorites because they allow you to batch reports and pull like all the reports, the 5-6 reports you use to analyze or close books at the end of the month or whatever it is. So these are the top 5. If you have a different top 5, put it in the live chat so other people can hear if there was one that wasn't mentioned here. But these are the top 5 most mentioned. The second piece was areas of improvement. This is the feedback that you guys are giving us, saying, there's a couple of areas of improvement. This is RightTool in general, not QuickBooks. There was a lot of area of improvements in QuickBooks. Obviously, that's not our thing.
Yeah.
So one was inconsistent font sizes on buttons and date pickers. Very, very true. That we've been very inconsistent with that, and we have to get better at that. And mostly because we don't have a full-time designer working with us. It's just a bunch of programmers, and then we build for function, not for looks. So we just build it. But true, it should have a uniform look and feel. So thank you for that feedback and bringing it out into the open for us. The second one is sometimes the features are unavailable for days and then they randomly come back. The interesting about that is that's not that they're unavailable for days and randomly come back. It's not random. It's just that we build them. QuickBooks changes something, and it isn't until either I stumble upon it or somebody from the mostly the Facebook community stumbles upon it and reports it, and then we realize something changed in the backend programming of the QuickBooks website, and then they don't randomly come back. It's just that we do updates. Like RightTool gets updated, I would say every 2 to 3 days in average.
Depends.
In average, yeah. I mean, like if we've gone, I don't think we've ever gone 2 weeks without updating something. Okay, so there's always updates happening, and it's always like sort of racing against the clock. And there was a few people mentioning something like too many features, which is generally is a good thing, and I posted in the Facebook group, is should we think about less features? But I think the problem is not too many features. I think the problem is not a little time to learn them all. So like there's sort of a bigger meta learning behind that, and that's kind of the ethos. And I think the feedback matches what we're trying to do with the certification program. Then most cited wish list items. These are like, again, this all came from the contest entries, because we take advantage every time we run a contest or something, we'll gather more feedback. So one that came up a lot is that what you want is defaulting columns on reports. Like going into a report and clicking here, clicking there, and showing particular columns. It's a task that takes a lot of time, and QuickBooks doesn't have anything like this. And we've kind of solved it a little bit with default settings on the classic reports and showing debits and credits automatically when you drill down and that sort of thing. So we've done some semblance of this with the classic reports, but with the newer reports, we've had a real tough time building customizations. Like we're still learning, how it behaves, because it's an entirely different system. So building default columns on reports, if we're capable of doing it, that's going to be the first thing that we're going to deliver for you guys pretty soon. The second one area is they wanted more training, even though like Mark and I are like, dude, I think we do a lot of training already, a lot of videos, but they want more training. Okay, more training. So obviously doing an in-person training in Miami, it's some part of that. Of course, only 30 people have access to that, not the 3,000 people that we have using Pro. So and mostly it's anxiety around feel that you're not using all the RightTool to the most of its abilities, that sort of thing. Then there was a lot of stuff about just like managing AR stuff in general, like and there is some bulk editing on the AR register, but it's super slow, just the way the mechanism goes. So we have to figure out some sort of way to maybe do bulk edits on invoices or bulk edit invoice detail data. That seems to be another area of the wish list. Also, being able to do more bulk editing on expense type of transactions, but straight from reports. So it looks like people are doing a lot of drill down, like they go to the P&L, they double click on a particular expense, and then while on the report, they want to reclassify something in that area, and they don't want to go to the reclassify screen to do things. They kind of want to work inside the report and do their batch correction or editing or cleanup inside the report. So that's another area that we're going to be putting a lot of feedback on. And then there was a lot of we're going to put a lot of development time on. And then a lot of the feedback is people are very frustrated with the new QuickBooks Online UI, and then they wanted more flexibility to hide QBO menus and pop-ups in general, or being able to like enter through pop-ups, close through pop-ups quickly, for escape to work on pop-ups. So we're getting feedback from you guys in terms of the specific pop-ups that annoy you, because we have to analyze each one. Okay, so like every pop-up, we have to figure out how to use escape or enter to default that, to close that or to move forward. So these 5 things that you're looking at here is going to be our focus development point, plus a couple of more things that were suggested at the RightTool retreat in Winston-Salem last month. But oddly enough, a lot of the stuff from the RightTool retreat kind of like matched this. Okay, so like it looks like this is the right direction for us to go. And then we're going to move on to the RightTool certification program. By the way, any of the 10 names that I mentioned, are you on the live webinar? I would love to put you put something in the chat just so people know that these are real people. These are not made up names. So if any of you want to take it, just put yes, I'm one of them. If not, there will be.
I know at least one person was here. I just don't remember exact. Crystal Thompson.
Okay, she was. Okay, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Congrats, Crystal. Awesome. Okay, Teresa Kenny is your boss. Okay, perfect. Okay,
interesting.
So cool. Okay, so let's talk about the RightTool certification program, and we're gonna paint the vision for you. Okay, we're building it as we speak. And first of all, are you excited about certification program? Is this something that you think will be useful and helpful? We received some feedback saying that they want that. Mostly because I think accounting pros, we are like information hogs, and we just want as much information as possible, as much education as possible. We love badges. Okay, we love having little badges like this. So like I would love to have this as a pin and as a sticker, like that would be super cool for us to like create all sorts of branding elements around the certification program. So there's going to be 2 tiers of certification. Okay, again, this is the vision, and we're building this, and this is all set to launch in December officially, actually November and December. So we're going to have a certified user program that's going to be available to all users. The training is going to be 2 hours. It's going to be a full walkthrough, basically, of all the navigational features. In essence, most of the free features available in RightTool Free Edition, and it'll be a basic test, maybe around 50 questions. So maybe possibly 1 question per feature. I don't know if we have exactly 50 features in the free edition, maybe a little bit more, but we'll do something like that. So that's going to be the one that's available to everybody. Anybody can get certified, get the badge, and really that's it, right? That's really we'll talk about how these are positioned. Okay.
Great question.
And there won't be a deadline. Like you could take it at any time. It's just that we'll release it somewhere in November. So you'll be able to take the test in December at some point. So that's kind of the idea, but no deadline. You just watch the videos whenever, take the exam whenever. Then we have the RightTool Certified Expert, which I think is the one that most of you are going to want to be in, which is only going to be available for Pro users and Pro Lite users. We're going to talk about Pro Lite in a second because we went through a beta test, and now we're officially releasing Pro Lite. So for Pro and Pro Lite users, there will be 4 hours of additional training. It will be in addition to the first 2, so it's going to be 6 hours of total training. I know it's a lot. Mark and I often joke around, how long would a webinar be that covers every single RightTool feature from beginning to end? And we think it will be at least 4 to 6 hours, because we spent a lot of time in the RightTool retreat. I would say at least 7 hours just talking about RightTool features that are there and just deep diving into the concepts on why we thought about them and all that stuff. And it would take at least 6 hours, and that's assuming that we don't veer off into any other thing. Like, don't read the comments, just cover every single thing. So it'll be 6 hours in total. That was going to be focused on batching. So we're going to do a whole 2 hours on batching, and then a whole 2 hours on just general advanced features that are not necessarily batching. They could be like macro style features, but necessarily batching. We will issue CPE for people that attend the live webinars only, just because I can't issue self-study CP. My organization, my company, Reframe, doesn't do non-live CPE, so only live. So if you attend the live webinar, we'll issue CPEs for that formally. So we'll register those as CPE. And it would be an advanced test that would be the basic test plus additional material. And we're thinking that test might be anywhere between 70 to 80 questions. So you will have to pass both exams, the basic and the expert, to have the expert badge. Okay. So if you have any questions on that, put them in the chat, and we'll answer those. Now, who is this for? Like, who's our target market for this? So the certified users. This is a comment I got a lot where people were telling me, listen, I'm the firm owner, or I'm the main accountant or whatever, and I'm the one that needs to know everything, but I want everybody in my firm to just have basic knowledge of RightTool. So they don't have time to spend 6 hours on training. So can you do something that's like for them? So we thought, okay, that could be really good for any QuickBooks user that's not an accountant, or a bunch of team members, an internal bookkeeping team, that sort of thing, right? Or that could at least prove that they know how to use the free features. Now we'll have some questions in there that's more about identifying free versus pro, but it's mostly so you understand, the limitations of the free edition. But the RightTool certified expert, that's going to be mostly for accounting, bookkeeping professionals that have multiple clients, that also want to potentially train other users or prove their technologically savviness by using state-of-the-art tools. And I'll kind of explain what I mean about that part particularly. The benefits of the certified, I called it certified consultant, certified expert. We're toying around with different names. The certified expert, the higher one, is going to be, we're going to give you access to an affiliate program, which we're building now. So you will have a special link or a special coupon code that you can share with anybody that you know. And if they buy RightTool, we'll share revenue with you. And also you can give them a discount. Okay. So kind of like the Pro Advisor program, when you bring a customer in, a new QBO customer in, you have the choice to either give them a discount or get revenue sharing. So I know every single one of you have at least recommended RightTool to someone else that probably bought and didn't see anything. And I know you.
Yeah, I'm glad that this gives us an excuse to kind of put some focus on that, only because of the fact that I know people have asked about the affiliate program stuff before, and I'm just like, setting this up is a pain for me.
It's a pain, luckily, and it's a lot to manage for inactive affiliates. So like the big problem with affiliates is like 1 million people sign up, but only like 1% actually use it. So it's a lot to maintain. So by doing this, we only do it for people that we know they have at least time investment, skin in the game. So we'll give them those people. And you don't have to use the affiliate program. I'm just saying you have access to it. Yeah. Another benefit is we're going to build a certified expert public database. So you will have the option to be publicly listed as a certified expert for visibility with potential clients. So you will be able to opt in. And the reason for this one is because we have like what, 34,000 active downloads of the Chrome extension, which means that's between 25 to 30,000 people use RightTool, and only about 3,500 are paid users. That means that there's a lot of people using RightTool free, and those are more likely to be non-accountants than accountants. Because if I were to poll you right now, were to ask you, if you're an accountant, do you use RightTool Pro? I guarantee you that 99%, if you're an accounting professional that has multiple clients, you use Pro because Pro is just incredible compared to free for those particular people. For small business owners, where people kind of dabbling in this, they start with the free edition. Those, we don't care about those. But that's potential visibility. Some of you people potentially want to train other accountants, because I know a lot of you do training or love doing training or are passionate about training and don't mind training other accountants. So you could be listed as an expert. People could pay you directly to train them. But if there's small business owners that can reach you through there, that's awesome. That's one more point of visibility. We're getting a lot of hits to our website. And the other thing that we were thinking is potentially even allowing some of the certified experts to provide free training for small business owners. So we'll have people come in and request, an expert, and then they could choose, I'm a small business owner or I'm an accountant, also for an excuse to sort, really. But then some people will say, you know what, I'll take all the small business owners leads that want to learn how to use RightTool for free, because that gives me a potential client on the accounting and the bookkeeping side, right? Because again, small business owners might, I mean, I'm just thinking out loud of
Yeah.
ways that this could be helpful. Yeah,
We definitely are gonna. It's gonna look different once it's actually released for sure from what we have today, uh, or maybe it'll look exactly the same. But we're definitely thinking about how we can make this the most valuable we can for people, and also we want to make sure that people's time, if they're helping us out, we want to make sure they're compensated for that as well, and also give kind of like an alternative revenue stream for them. So,
yeah, of course.
yeah, that's a big part of it. So. I definitely thinking I would love to have a thing where it's like we have specific experts who are like, hey, for everybody who's in this niche, I'll give like a webinar or something like that, and it will pay them more for that webinar with a specific niche than we would for just one-on-one consultation type things, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's part of the vision for sure. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
our company's growing, our user base is incredible. Like RightTool Pro users are absolutely incredible people. Like, I have talked to so many people, and they pour their heart out. They love it. They're passionate. They love their clients. They love helping. They're just incredible people, and I think they're very much underutilized. So we have this megaphone, or potential megaphone. We can amplify that goodness, that our community has, and I think it could just all be a win-win. The other thing is we're gonna do annual updates, right? So we'll release this in December. Then hopefully by December of next year, we'll have sort of like an update one to get you caught up, right? Because we do have the bi-monthly webinars, but we'll have one official sort of update for the certified people, so we can just get you caught up in one session, just get you caught up in a whole year's worth of RightTool changes. Now, what similar to what Mark was talking about on the paid opportunities, one of the things that we want to start doing is we want to have a RightTool expert, which right now is Mark and I, but there's a lot of people that are very, very good at using RightTool. Onboard new RightTool Pro users. So when a new RightTool Pro user signs up, we know that if you spend a little bit of time with someone, and I know Mark personally has done tons of onboarding to many of you watching this live, tons of onboarding personally, kind of helping you through it. And that really helps build loyalty. It helps people, keep the subscription. But, again, we have a lot of customers, right? So like we're running thin on time. And also we don't have external funding. We don't have private equity. This is all, this is all within the limits of our time that we have, to work. So we want to see if these certified experts want to get paid. We'll figure out what the rate looks like and all that stuff, but get paid to help other RightTool Pro users get onboarded, right? And again, these are all optional. Like you could just do it for the batch, get certified, do it for the batch. Like all these things would be extra. Like you choose.
You don't even have to do it for the badge. You could do it just to see the videos, to be clear,
right, or for the CP, whatever. Yeah, for the training, right? For your own thing. And lastly, the merch store. Like we're looking for the best possible merch store that makes it very easy for people to buy merch. Like I got my Yeti cup with the RightTool logo. Maybe I should not have that sticker on it. But get a Yeti cup with RightTool logo, maybe T-shirts, maybe shirts like this, so people can buy them on their own. And then we want to give, number one, we want the certified experts to be the first ones that have it. A hat, whatever, right? A cap, whatever. So we're looking for a store that's flexible, so we don't have to buy inventory and can all be done, on demand. And of course, we'll most likely do like a sort of a discount for certified experts. So if you have any ideas in terms of what else would be beneficial and it matches, encouraging people to get certified, give us a feedback, or email us, or give us a feedback in the live chat, so we can think about that. Okay, let's talk about official dates. So we'll have 3 live webinars. The link is ready. So if you want to sign up for the live webinars, November 10th, 17th, and December 1st. Now, I wanted to do them back to back, but November 24th is the week of Thanksgiving. So I know some people travel and stuff like that. So we're skipping the Thanksgiving week, and then we're doing the second part of the advanced one on December 1st. Now I want to add something really quick here, just to the slides, all at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, and again, all these things will be recorded as well. So
yes, they will all be recorded. They will be on the portal. They would be listed on the RightTool Pro portal. If you haven't been on the RightTool Pro portal, you go to righttoolpro.com, and then in here somewhere, you're gonna see certification program. Okay, and then you're gonna click on that. Again, it's not ready yet, but you're gonna click on that, and then in here you will have the basic certification, the advanced certification based on the type of user that you're in. You'll be able to click there, watch the recording if you miss the live recording, and then you'll be able to take. We're hoping you were able to take the test right in the platform. If we end up using a third party for test, the link will be there. So it'll be a simple one click link for that. So that's going to be in RightTool Pro somewhere at some point in December. Now, the certification webinars that we're doing, if you want to watch them live and get CPE, they're not this same webinar series. So you're not automatically registered for those. We're not going to automatically register for people. So we probably want to have less people, the people that are kind of focused on just doing this. That way we're not distracted with a gazillion chatbots and the gazillion comments while we're teaching this live. But it's a different thing that you have to register for. It's in the slides and it's also in the Zoom link. So Mark, I'll put the link to the slides.
Yeah, I put it in go ahead and put the slides in there.
Yeah.
Registration for.
Okay. So again, any questions or suggestions about making the certification program the best certification program out there, let us know. There's no cost to this, zero cost to this. But the certified expert needs to be a pro user to get certified. All right. So last thing is to talk about a couple of. It's just kind of funny that I said we might be under an hour. Okay, I don't know why I ever say that something that
we have a chance here.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so some changes. So we have no price changes planned for 2026 for the $75 a month Pro Plus users. The folks that were grandfathered at the original Pro rates, the price will stay the same through 2026 at least. That doesn't mean that 2027 will stay the same. We might bring everybody up to $75 a month, in 2027. But for the time being, Pro Plus users, which is the vast majority of users, will be at the same rate. The nonprofit rate will likely increase, and I wanted to do this January 1st, but at Mark's request, wanted to give people a whole year for nonprofits. So there are some old accounts at $15 a month that were nonprofits that we had grandfathered at the old rate. In October 2026, we're going to shift everybody. Everybody's going to pay the new rate, which is $25 a month. These are for the nonprofit. So that's anybody that applies for an account, that emails us, and the email is at .org, or they can prove to us they're a nonprofit. We automatically put them in the nonprofit rate just because we have a lot of nonprofit people that tell us, hey, our nonprofits can't afford it, but they really need XYZ. Mostly something in the reports, the condensed classes.
Oh, yeah.
Reports, and then they really needed that. So we're giving the nonprofits a little bit of a break. Now, Pro Lite account. So officially, when you go buy a RightTool a Pro account on this link that's in the slides, you now have the option to do either RightTool Pro at $75 a month, which is what most people are in. And then we were beta testing for a couple of months RightTool Pro Lite. And for the most part, we ironed out most of the kinks. There might be a little bit more kinks, but we'll see. So for those that are currently on free, so both. So first of all, type the word free on the chat. So I want to see how many people are on the free edition. So I can make one really important pitch on why you need this, okay? So number one, we made free way too powerful. And that's part of the challenge. That's a problem that we created. It's a good problem. It created goodwill. It created a huge community. But $75 a month, it's a huge jump. Like to go from free to $75 is a huge jump for people now. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to give you all the power of RightTool Pro, but just for those people that only need one Pro feature every once in a while. So we have a few people that are like, you know what? I only need to batch delete once a month, or I only need to paste into a journal entry, once a day, or I only need to, like, for those that just really need to just get out of that one thing, we made this product just for you. So it's $35 a month. It has every feature that the Pro Plus has. The only thing that's different is that the you can only turn on one Pro feature at a time. That's the only thing. All the free features you can turn off and on. So please give this a shot. Do a 14-day free trial. And I'm going to make a public commitment to you. If you do a 14-day free trial and you forget somehow at the 15th day or the 16th day to cancel because you tried it, email me and we'll still refund you. So like, I'm just telling you, like, literally no risk, give it a shot. I am a strong believer that this will be the best $35 a month you will invest, because you get all the power of Pro. You don't have to worry. A lot of people in these webinars ask us, is this in Pro? This is free. So imagine you no longer have to worry about that. You have Pro. You only use one feature at a time. Fine. And as people give us feedback saying, hey, these two features don't make sense for one to be off and one to be on for XYZ workflow, we will work to merge these features in a logical way. We'll get your feedback. We'll make this work. But we wanted to create a product for those that are still on the fence. They're accounting professionals. They have multiple clients that they want us all the savings of Pro. If we go back and look at the top features that people mentioned, the most cited features, I believe these are all, well, with the exception of bank feed enhancements at the moment, these are all Pro features. So like, think about it. Like, you should be having FOMO right now, right? That if you're on the free edition. So that's my pitch to you. I think, again, I think the $35 is going to go a very, very long way. So give that a shot. And again, if you sign up for a free trial, it didn't work out for whatever, we will reimburse you, if you forget after the 14 days, no problem, because it will require a credit card. Okay, update. We created as a test something called no ads, which means no advertisement, but people are like, what the heck is no ads? The no ads account, which you could pay $10 a month and you have access to RightTool free, but with no ads. We have like 25 or 26 people on it or something like that. We temporarily disabled it. It's not on the website anymore, just because I don't think that it moved a lot, the needle. Like, we were thinking, look, we got 3,500 paid users on the Pro account. I don't know, 30,000 people using RightTool in total. We should have like 100 people on no ads, but no, it didn't really.
Well, that's probably a marketing fault of ours too.
Yeah,
but also,
absolutely, true.
It is one of those things where nowadays it's like, no ads. Depending on how you are, it's hard to say.
I actually called Mark. I was calling some of the no ad users, and I asked them why did you do it, and they said, I can't afford Pro, but we just wanted to support. And we say, but is there value in having no ads? And they all said, none of the ads are intrusive enough. They're just a little ad that shows up in the top right, like so almost telling us that we should make the ads more intrusive. But we won't do that, though. It's counterproductive. But so we have to reimagine the value proposition of a version of RightTool with no ads. Maybe $10 a month is too much. Maybe go back to $5 a month or something. But we got to figure out, like, I would like to, as a business owner, as a businessman, I would like, to have more people that are paid. Doesn't matter if they're paying 5 or 75, they're paying something, right? Because when you pay something, you value it more. That's just how things are. Current subscribers to no ads can keep that subscription. However, everybody that signed up for no ads will get an email from us, or should have gotten an email from us, offering you to jump on the Pro Lite at the same price that you were paying no ads for the rest of the year. So you should get an email with
a little bit more than the rest of the year, actually, but not much more. It's like 6 months, I think.
Yeah. And then RightTool free, just wanted to wrap up by talking about like the future of RightTool free. So right now, RightTool free is still going to exist. We made an announcement, last year, that we're committed to continue to have an ad-supported free edition of RightTool. Why does it make sense to have this? And I've been having some discussions with potential investors and partners, because we're talking to people about expanding RightTool and the multiple ideas that we have. and they asked me, why do you even have a free edition? And like the way I explained it is, it's a very easy entry point, no credit card required. It's a funnel to pro upgrades. I'm pretty sure that most people that upgraded to pro started with free, right? So it's really like no friction starting point. So that's called the freemium model. Also, for pro users to share with their clients. So a lot of pro users, like they get, that's like the number one thing. They're like, look,
I love it when I hear stories about people being like, oh yeah, I share with a client who only uses the free version, and like I set up their favorites and tell them don't go anywhere but these favorites or something like that. It's always fun when I hear something like that.
Exactly. And ad revenue is a business model. Like many companies, make money with ad revenue. Not the case with us. Ad revenue has never been a big business model. Like we have people that are paying for advertising, but it's just not there. Like actually,
yeah. I would say that the biggest value we've gotten out of advertising is just building relationships with different people more so than any actual monetary reason whatsoever.
Yeah, make relationships with the vendors, and like a lot of these vendors could be a potential partners of ours to build something bigger and that sort of thing. But yeah, our revenue is a real business. But I'll let you in a little secret. When Mark and I were brainstorming the monetization model, at some point in our thinking, we were like, maybe we just make this tool free and then we make it with ad revenue. But it just never panned out. And then we also didn't know we were going to be able to build so many things for RightTool. Like never in my wildest dreams, we were going to have 118 features that we have to maintain. And also never in my wildest dreams, I would think that QuickBooks would make so many random little changes that affect what we do so often. Like it's just the amount of changes that we have to make because QuickBooks makes so many changes. It's just incredible. So it's just very difficult to keep up with. And we are looking for more developers that we're going to hire soon.
But we got to figure out what we're going to do first, and then we're going to.
Yeah, true. Very true. We have some plan changes for next year, just to kind of like be aware. We will slow down the development of new features for the free edition for sure. Other than like truly egregious things like QBO just breaks. That like there's one thing I'm going to show you before we end that I would like. You know what? We have to keep this in free because it's just like it's a service to the community. We have to keep this one thing free forever, right? But so that's the things that we're going to, our discretion, kind of choose that. We are potentially going to phase out high maintenance features. So these are features that we have to do a lot of servicing on, and we'll phase them out of free and put them in pro just because we need to put more resources on updates. Just updates are incredibly important, and it can't just be Mark putting all-nighters 3 times a week, every single time. Like we have to have a formal team just dealing with this stuff.
Not 3 times a week.
Okay.
It's more like 7, but that's not the point.
Right. And reports is the thing. I think reports are going to have a lot of changes because QuickBooks wants to phase out classic reports. So the minute they bring in new reports, they're going to have a lot more feedback, a lot more changes. That's something we're going to have to be reporting. So things that have to do with reports, they're probably likely not to go on free. And banking is the second one that when QuickBooks kills the classic mode of bank feeds, the new one's going to have a lot of changes because they're basically experimenting on people live, essentially. And the other thing that we're going to toy with literally for early next year, probably even December, is that we're going to require free users to create an account. It's a free account. Like you have to create a user ID and password to edit the toggles. And the reason for that is because since we want to create a certification program for free users, we have to have a way of logging who they are so we can, give them the certificate and keep a database of them. So we wanted to just create a habit of having to have an account in our database so we can do the certification program. So that's kind of the logic.
Yeah. And just to be exceptionally clear on that, there will be a few settings. You can still sign up for RightTool just by getting the extension, and you can still use it. It's just that the settings will kind of be set in stone, with the exception of a select few. Right. I know Hector and me will go back and forth on that.
We will. Yes, we will.
We will go back and forth on that. But there are some that I'm like, I think you absolutely have to have at least some choice of turning them on and off. But it will be mostly set in stone on that. Probably
the accessibility ones are the ones that you have to be able to change, right? I think.
Yeah.
For the most part, just because they overwrite certain look and feel of QuickBooks and Yeah, but some of the settings and buttons, like you just have to have an account. Okay, it's a free account. Like it doesn't cost you anything, no credit card or anything. Last thing is where our company's heading to is we want to build the ultimate accountants tool. Okay, like we think that RightTool is kind of the ultimate QBO power users tool. I think very little other companies can make that claim. You know, like I think Keeper sort of kind of makes that claim, and I think fairly enough, Keeper's great. And Zenit wants to make that claim, and Sasant wants to make that claim, and they all in their own right do amazing things. But I think that the ultimate QBO power user, the ultimate batch of a QBO power user is using RightTool, using RightTool Pro. But it's a relatively small niche of users right now that we have, but we want to go broader and bigger. And the concept is we want to build the ultimate accountants tool. That's the concept. Now, we don't know exactly what the tool looks like. We have some ideas because we gathered some really deep insight in a RightTool retreat. And that was an amazing collective trust. And what we're just keep your eyes and ear on that. We're actively talking to other software companies that understand this market, have similar customers, have similar goals, and they're emailing me directly, and I'm having open conversations about investment in the tool or co-development. We're doing that actively. I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna go public and take public money yet, but if any player in this market that that wants to co-develop something big, talking about big. The ultimate accountants tool is big. Okay, it could be a complement to QuickBooks. It could be a blank.
Don't say that.
Of QuickBooks. It doesn't matter what it is. It's got to be big. Like it's like I think we changed the game with something very, very small, but I think we can change the game even bigger if we were to put a lot of resources into this. So thank you very much for that. I am going to close with one little tiny demo. For those we still have 266 people live here. One really important thing I want to mention, because a lot of people just miss this, and I think this is big. So one of the things that frustrate people about the new QuickBooks UI is that left rail. This left rail drives people insane, particularly power users, okay? And half of it is because it's changed, it's different. Half of it is because it takes a space. A lot of people got used to just using RightTool, so they feel that it's just taking dead space on the left side. So what we did is we allow you to get rid of it. Try it if you have two monitors. Control-Alt-minus. Control-Alt-minus gets rid of the left rail.
That actually is interesting how much space that adds. It's more than you'd think.
Yeah, but the animation itself. Yeah, so Control-Alt, it gets rid of it. Now, it doesn't get rid of it. It kind of tucks it in, okay? So it can collapse it. Before the webinar, I was talking to Mark about a potential feature where we can have it automatically done for those that just really don't want to deal with it at all. So Control-Alt or Control-Command on the Mac minus just gets rid of that. And also remember, Control-Alt left arrow does the navigation, just the navigation panel. So now we have control. You can have a lot of fun here. So you can open and close those navigation panels. Now what we need is a keyboard that contains a little macro so we can map those to that. That would be pretty awesome. And Control-Alt right arrow or Control-Command right arrow does the right tool. So as of now, we have enough buttons that we can collapse all these things. Only thing that we're missing is one that collapses the top bar. Mark, I don't know. We probably should have thought about that.
I just figure the Zen mode is like if you're going so far you're collapsing the top bar, then the Zen mode is
right. Zen mode is control period or command period. But I would think that there might be someone that would say, you know what, I want to leave the left rail but just collapse the top bar. Okay. Now one thing that people tell me all the time is, Hector, how do I access my new create button or my settings button when I'm on Zen mode, when I'm in full screen mode? Guess what? We got keyboard shortcuts for that. So Control-Alt plus opens up the create bar, okay? And Mark, there's something missing here, which is we used to default the cursor to the first thing so people can use the arrows to go through it. That I need you to fix that, please. Is that possible?
Add it. I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'll add it.
Yeah. So Control Alt plus opens that, and then you have to hit Tab to do that. So just if you can activate that tab in there, that would be great. Or Control Alt again, even if you are in full screen mode or Zen mode, Control Alt star opens up the settings. Okay.
And people are asking for a cheat sheet of this. We have a cheat sheet.
We do.
On this. That being said, there's actually some of these that need to be updated for, like, for instance, the Zen mode. Oh, okay, you did?
Yeah. So the cheat sheet is here. It's in the right toolbar. You see that little key icon. That little key icon that if you next to the microphone, if you press that key icon, it takes you to the website that contains all the shortcuts. And then all the way in the bottom, there's a PDF download. So you can click on PDF download, and we can do that. Now, if anyone here, a RightTool Pro user, is also a graphic designer and wants to create a one-sheet printable, really nice graphic design of that, email me, and we'll give you credits at the bottom, designed by whomever. So whomever is a bookkeeper, accountant / graphic designer, or really good at that, just email me, and maybe you can help me build a really cool one-page cheat sheet. Maybe we can add it in the merch store later on and have like a laminated version of that or something like that. So anyway, we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for being a RightTool users. Thank you for enduring another hour of Mark and I blabbing and listening to what we're trying to do with this company. And then we'll see you next month for the October new feature updates.